NFL fans, we're 2 days away. Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys in Philadelphia Thursday night to kick off the 2025 season. Who wins this game? We're going to go through all the things you need to know about the Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to give you a score prediction for this game. Maybe you make a little cash. I got some prop bets, predictions, everything you need to know about this Cowboys-Eagles game. Let's get into it. Before we kick off this Eagles-Cowboys prediction video, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support you've given me over the last couple of years. We're closing in on 20,000 subscribers. You guys are the best. Make sure you smash that like button. It does help us get into YouTube's algorithm. And this video is sponsored by Splash Sports, right? So what they're doing is sponsoring the J All Day channel to run our very own Survivor pool. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below. If you want to sign up, it's $20 to enter. The more people we get in, the more money the winner takes home at the end of the season, guys. And don't forget about my memberships, all my bets, every single Friday, $4.99 a month. Eagles, Cowboys, let's go! All right, the first thing I want to do is break down these off seasons for each of these teams and kind of get a feel of what's going on, what's been cooking, all the goodies. But obviously, we got to address the elephant in the room. Jerry Jones does it again, guys. Just when you thought this guy couldn't be any worse at his job, he trades Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers for Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks. This guy's a generational talent. 52.5 sacks over his first 4 years. Guess what, guys? There's only one other person in NFL history to do that. His name is Reggie White, probably the best pass rusher in NFL history. In my opinion, you just do not trade away generational talent. You pay the man. The cap's going to go up year after year, so there'll be a less concentration on your overall cap hit over the next 4 years. There's a million reasons where I could get into this business-wise about how this makes absolutely no sense from a team-building perspective, right? But that's neither here nor there. The deal is done, and the Eagles, Giants, and Commanders are super stoked. Yo, what a bum move. Jerry Jones, bro. It's time to be put out the pasture, man. Enjoy your money. Enjoy what you've built. Let some other people make some decisions, dude, because you are losing your mind. Now, let's kick things off for the Philadelphia Eagles, guys. 14-3 last year, absolute domination. 463 points scored, that's 7th in the NFL. Second in points allowed, only behind the Chargers. 303 for the Eagles, 301 for the LA Chargers, right? This team's really good. The spread's coming in between 6.5 and 7.5, depending on what sports book. And the Eagles are coming off that huge win, 40-22 over the Kansas City Chiefs, guys. Now, let's take a look at this offseason real quick. See what the Eagles have been cooking underneath what's going on. Actually, they brought Fred Johnson back. Isaiah Rodgers moves on to the Minnesota Vikings. Josh Sweat moves on to Arizona. Mekhi Becton goes to LA. There's a bunch of crazy news coming out about Mekhi Becton. Insane. Milton Williams goes to the New England Patriots. They also lost Brandon Graham to retirement. Bummer. Brandon Graham, you are the man. And they also lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson in a trade. Darius Slay also moves on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of moving parts. Here are some of the guys they brought in. They extended Zach Bond. They brought back Matt Pryor. Ojulari comes over from the Giants, I believe. You know, interesting offseason for the Eagles. Pretty much the whole offense is coming back, minus Mekhi Becton. The defense, a lot of moving parts, but there's guys that were waiting in the wings to take over these positions. We'll go over that a little more once we break down the depth charts for both of these rosters and check out some of these matchups. Now, if we move on to the Dallas Cowboys, 7-10 last year. Didn't really have Dak Prescott, you know. Not a great year. Points allowed, 468. And like not having Dak Prescott doesn't really have much to do with it. I know their offense wasn't on the field a lot, but 468 points allowed. Woo, baby. And as we know, new head coach Brian Schottenheimer takes over for the Dallas Cowboys as the new head coach. They also bring in Matt Eberflus, former head coach of the Chicago Bears, to coach up this defense, right? Without Micah Parsons, it's going to be a lofty task. But actually, this Cowboys defense has some guys waiting in the wings as well that could be difference makers. Not as good as Micah Parsons, obviously, but a little better than the mass media is kind of bringing out to each and every one of you, consuming that Dallas Cowboys news over the last week or so in that news cycle, right? So, now, where do the Cowboys go from here? Tough matchup, man. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go over this depth chart and check out the matchups. First, we're going to start out with the Dallas Cowboys on defense. Philadelphia Eagles on offense. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts both 4-0 in week 1 games, guys. So they got a tough task ahead of them, right? Really, really tough task. The Dallas Cowboys coming in to Philadelphia, where Jalen Hurts is extremely impressive at home. One of the best home winning records in the NFL, and it's really not even that close, right? So, the Dallas Cowboys are dealing with some injuries. Kalen Carson, he's not going to be playing in this game. Is Diggs going to play? I'm going to put this defense into nickel because the Eagles are probably going to be, running 3 wide receivers most of the game, I would say. So they're going to be in nickel. Deron Bland just signed a monster deal. Elam's on the outside. If Diggs can't go, Bland's going to be kicked out to the outside, and they're going to have someone else step in at this nickel spot. They bring in Malik Hooker. The linebackers, not great. Overshown's not going to be playing. Tyler Guyton's a big question mark as too if we're talking about injuries, but we'll talk about that when we're on offense, right? And just look at some of these matchups, man. Everyone for the Philadelphia Eagles is healthy. Tyler Steen actually looked really, really good this preseason. Really good blocks, getting off the ball fast, pancaking guys. He looks really good. I think he's going to step in seamlessly for Mekhi Becton, right? I just don't see any advantage this Dallas Cowboys team has. They also drafted Donovan Ezeraku. I think he went to Boston College, one of the leaders in sacks last year in college football. Really talented guy. I liked him in the draft process. I'm not sure how much he's going to play in week 1. We'll have to see how that kind of plays out. If you take a look at these matchups, they're just matchup for days. I like Goddard versus these linebackers and the safeties. Dotson and Smith are going to interchange between going inside and outside. And then who's covering A.J. Brown? I think he cooks all of these guys. Diggs is coming off a big injury. When you come off those kinds of injuries, you're never 100%, man. I think they're going to have a really long day covering these wide receivers. But are they even going to need the wide receivers? Because this offensive line is going to dominate. They did bring in Kenny Clark from the Green Bay Packers. Really good start to his career. He's definitely, regressed considerably over the last 3 seasons. Ton of experience, like 9 years, and he's still only 29 years of age, right? So, pretty young guy. He'll be 30 next month. But not super old, especially for D tackles. But, 60 overall grade last year. I don't know. This trade is just so bad. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. There's nothing I enjoy more when the Giants, the Commanders, and the Cowboys are good because those Eagles games are so much more meaningful. But oh my goodness, man. 2 first-round picks. They're probably going to be from pick 22 to 32, right? If we're being honest. Probably more like 25 to 32 for the Green Bay Packers, who look pretty good with Edge Cooper and now Micah Parsons, that young defense. The Packers are still the youngest team in the NFL. The Eagles are actually the second youngest team, right? So that's great moving forward because the Eagles have a lot of depth at tons of different positions, right? When I take a look at this Dallas Cowboys defense in totality, guys, I just don't see a lot of huge difference makers. We got Bland and Diggs who've dealt with tons of injuries. Nealon, Clark, Williams, not the, cachet that Micah Parsons brings to a defense. Guys that you could rely on pretty much every third down. That's one thing Micah Parsons did, was bring some consistency with a pass rush for this defense. I don't see that with this team now, especially with this Eagles offensive line. Mailata and Johnson, 2 of the best bookend tackles in the NFL. I don't see any clear-cut advantages anywhere. I think this Eagles offense is going to put up a ton of points. Now, let's flip over to the Dallas Cowboys on offense, who look a little bit better on offense than they do on defense, in my opinion, right? They bring in Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got Turpin in the slot and Lamb on the outside, but, they're going to be interchangeable. If you take a look at CeeDee Lamb, he runs a lot of his routes in the slot as well. He is going to line up all over this formation, right? Tyler Guyton is dealing with a knee injury. We don't know if he's going to play at all. He was pretty horrific last year, if I'm going to call a spade a spade. We got the rookie, Tyler Booker, coming over from Alabama to replace Zach Martin, who retired, right? So that's huge. We really want to see what he looks like in week 1 versus a very, very stout front seven. Guys, if we take a look at this matchup, Jalen Carter versus Tyler Booker. Yo. Yeah, Tyler Booker, you're about to get your lunch eaten, bro. And they're going to have to double team, right? So that's going to open up things for Hunt and Smith. If you put a rookie on an island with Jalen Carter, it's not going to end well. It's really not. So they're going to have to double team Jalen Carter, and he crushes double teams anyways. So that's going to really open up things on the outside and with Ajomo on the inside, who his pass rush metrics for a D tackle are amongst some of the best in the NFL. We got rookie Jahad Campbell starting at the linebacker spot opposite Zach Bond, who was unbelievable last year. It looks like Sidney Brown is going to start, as well as Adoree Jackson, right, in this nickel defense. In base, it'll probably be Cooper DeJean, but nickel has really become the base defense across the league. So we're going to see Adoree Jackson on the outside, Cooper DeJean in the slot with Quinyon Mitchell on the outside. He typically stays on the right side, even though he was traveling a little bit in camp. I expect him to lock down the right side of the field and have Adoree Jackson and Cooper DeJean kind of figure it out. Blankenship's a really good safety. I expect Hunt, Ajomo, Carter, and Smith to eat against this inexperienced offensive line. I do like myself some Tyler Smith. He's gotten better each and every year he's been in the league, really proving himself to be one of the better offensive guards in the entire NFL. Former first-round pick coming out of Tulsa. Really good player. And I loved Cooper Beebe, not this past draft, but the draft before. I thought he was one of the better centers I've seen in a long time coming out of Kansas State. 6'4", 335. He was pretty good. Really good run blocker, not the best pass blocker at all. Where I think this Dallas Cowboys offense is really going to struggle this year is at the running back position. They brought in Javonte Williams coming over from the Denver Broncos, who looked mediocre at best. For a team that really wants to establish the run and have a team that runs the ball first and uses that to utilize these really good receivers in Pickens and Lamb, they don't have a great offensive line, and the running back room is pretty lackluster in my opinion, right? So I definitely think this Eagles front seven is going to have a field day against Tyler Guyton coming off the injury. Didn't practice at all this preseason, right? So it's not looking good, man. Is he even going to play? And if he plays, it's going to be a 7th rounder coming in to start for Tyler Guyton. It doesn't look good, man. It really doesn't. You know, just calling this from an X's and O's perspective, if Dak Prescott can stay upright, he can make some plays down the field with Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. But I think the way they win this game, if they can win this game, is a lot of like 3-step, 5-step drops, a lot of crossers going across the shallow parts of the field, keep everything 12 yards or less, and kind of dink and dunk your way down the field for a defense that doesn't blitz a lot, right? So Vic Fangio will allow you to be in front of the defense, right? Where this offense can kind of make plays in that 5 to 10 yard range over and over again. Because Fangio doesn't like to blitz. He doesn't like to give up the big play over their head, right? So they give you some of that underneath stuff. So if they want to have a chance at winning this game, they got to execute underneath. Keep Dak upright for at least the ability to drop back 5 steps, right? I think that's the only chance they have of winning this game. I don't think they're going to be able to establish the run over the length of this game and be successful consistently with the run game. So that's kind of my breakdown of the X's and O's with the depth chart with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys, both on offense and on defense, right? So new head coaches coming into Philadelphia. It's going to be loud. An offensive line that really hasn't played together that much. I think the Philadelphia Eagles dominate this game. I'm going 35-20. The Philadelphia Eagles get a huge home victory in week 1. And Jerry Jones is contemplating his life decisions with shipping Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. A Packers team that a couple of years back kicked the absolute dog shit out of the Dallas Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs. So it just makes no sense to me. I don't understand. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of this Micah Parsons deal? And you think it's going to be worth it to trade a generational talent for a 30-year-old Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks, probably being in the 25 to 32 range? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. And also give me a score for this game, guys. What do you think the score of the Cowboys Eagles game is week 1, 2 sleeps away. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.